gotta get out of here, understand? You included.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. It's good to see you guys. So, some of y'all might have heard about the flooding we've got going on here in my state, and it's pretty sad. Last I heard, the body count was 24. Das Wolfen updated me and said it's 27 now. It's bad. Now, I'm not in the danger zone. It's considerably south of me, but it's still a sad day. I mean, this kind of stuff just hits us like really unexpectedly. I mean, it's Texas. You don't expect to get flooded. You expect to get, sunbaked to death or something. But no, we have floods. We have freezing cold winter. We had a cold winter that came through like a couple of years ago that was so bad it killed 3 people in my town. They all froze to death in their houses. It's pretty sad. And I mean, it's just like we're at the mercy of the weather. So anytime we think we're all big and bad and everything else, Mother Nature comes down to go and slap you in the pee-pee and go, don't you go thinking you that big yet. I will be happy when we somehow master terraforming, if we ever can. I don't know. That's probably such a far out, in effect, futuristic technology that there's no way I'll be alive by the time they do perfect it, if they manage to perfect it. I sort of have my doubts they're going to perfect it. I think AI is going to get it perfected before we do because, we can't even communicate with each other anymore. I mean, here's an example. A friend of mine has a son who got a job at a Walmart. And, kid would, come in and punch a clock every day. And, sometimes he was late. Well, apparently he was late one too many times. And the system automatically fired him. Like his boss didn't even have to tell him. It's just like, the time clock informed him he was fired. And I was just thinking about that. And I'm like, that's both ingenious and that's horrifying at the same time. Because on the one hand, it keeps a manager from having to go with the uncomfortable, thing of having to tell a guy that, hey, you're fired. But on the other hand, that's another area where we don't want to communicate with each other because it's uncomfortable. And I started thinking, the more and more that we begin to rely on, AI programmed machines to communicate for us when we don't want to deal with a situation, it's really going to lead to us not being able to communicate with one another. I mean, went to the Taco Bell the other day. It wasn't a person who took my order. It was an AI. Literally, it was an AI voice and everything, taking the orders. We got to the window. Of course, it was still live people serving the food, making the food. They said they hated that thing. I said, yeah, I could kind of understand why. But we already have a generation of people who can't really communicate very well with each other. We got men and women who can't talk to each other because they don't understand each other's needs. And then we wonder why it is that, the birth rates are declining and people are having all these problems with divorces and, getting into all these strange things. I'm not going to speak about anything specifically. This is not aimed at anything specifically involving men and women or the like, but more it's the whole, lack of communication and the fact that we have a generation of kids who can't communicate with each other. They can't communicate what they feel, what they think. I mean, they can't even fight. They can't stick up for themselves. You try to teach them, hey, you need to advocate for yourself. You need to speak up. You need to do something. Because, people aren't always going to be around to help you. You got to learn to be a little bit more self-sufficient. Well, they're not going to be. And I wonder where it's going. I mean, I'm going to be dead, I think, before things just really fall off the cliff. But I imagine I'll be alive long enough to see it just before it happens. And that kind of bothers me. Bothers me to think about what kind of world we're going to be leaving to the kids or how well prepared they're going to be able to handle it. The machines and everything work fine right now. But when they break down, who's going to be around to fix them? Who knows how to fix them? There may not be a YouTube video on it. I don't know, man. We're headed to some kind of an apocalypse. I'm not sure what kind, but it's coming, guys. It's coming. One day, all the machines will shut down, or they'll stop working, or people will forget how they work, or they won't be able to live without them. We'll enter a new dark age, which is what historians call periods of time where knowledge is lost and people regress and don't understand how the correlation between where they came from and where they're at. And more than one culture has suffered this. I mean, we always think about the English Dark Ages or, the Roman Dark Ages, but it's happened in China. It's happened in Greece. It'll happen again, I think. But what kind of Dark Age will it be? Anyway, enough about that. Let's go on to some cheery things, huh? I got some good stuff today. I'm actually kind of upbeat, except for this. So let's bring on the panel and then do something happy. Hi, Grim. I bring on the happiest guy on the show.
Yes, hello. Happy belated Treason Day, filthy colonials.
Yes. We have the caster.
Hello, Grim. Don't worry, you guys are getting your money back when we decided to do away with all your taxation because you guys have continued Games Workshop.
Mr. John, good to see you.
200 from you today.
Ooh, bastards.
Mr. Hunter.
It's like, take back your tea, you stinking redcoats.
I like tea. Hey, driving. We got Daniel here too.
Well, hey, are we talking proper tea or what the Southerns call like a half a pound of sugar?
Well,
I can't drink that.
That's what so upset us, you see, because just dumping it in the harbor is the usual American way of making it.
That's the best way to make it, but you are so welcome that you don't have to write your games in German twice.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah, well, writing them in Russian would be a bit difficult.
Silverlock, dude, I'm glad to see you. All right, I hope you're doing okay. I know you had some recent medical stuff happening. I've been keeping up with you on X. I hope you're all right. I hope you're going to be all right, and just love on that boy of yours. Love that dog. Because you're his whole world, man. Savo! She says, methinks a lot of disappointments in the world are people who have less investment in the future, people without kids, outvoting or influencing those who do. Well, I don't have any kids, but...
They're not too far off the money there, though. I can say that for a fact.
Yeah. I mean... it would be easy for me to just be neglectful and say, oh, well, I don't owe any responsibilities to the futures. I don't have any kids. But I do have family, extended family, who does have kids. And I don't want to see them struggle any more than, what I had to or anyone else. And I kind of think they will.
No, I think the reality to your little monologue is you were kind of spot on the money when you said it's going to be a matter of just outdated technology. The people who knew how to handle certain machines will just die off without that knowledge being passed on. There are certain trades which just frankly cannot find able and willing hands to pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're headed towards. We always think of dystopias as being, kind of like cyberpunk, and I don't necessarily know if it's going to be that kind of a dystopia. It may be a dystopia where it's just, robots kind of running everything because people are too stupid to know how to. That is also a different type of dystopia. But let's get on to some good things, shall we? So we got a lot of good stuff that happened this week, and a lot of bad stuff too. I guess we might as well go ahead and get one of the big bads out of the way, because I know that Caster has been dying to bring this up. Because all week he's been shooting me these notices about it. So the Diamond distributor bankruptcy thing that's going on right now. This is not just affecting comics. It is having a cascade knock-on effect on game publishers or anybody who depends on their books being distributed to like hobby stores and things.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, because at the end of the day, Diamond has been a de facto monopoly with a lot of like the comic book distribution for a long time, and it's ultimately a problem that all the shops and basically everyone involved has been willing to tolerate for far too long now. Because it was just the path of least resistance. Everyone was comfortable. It's like, well, they didn't want to have to set up a second account to order books from other distributors. That it just led to eventually to a bottleneck of ownership. And sadly, we're seeing the ramifications of having no backup options.
Mm-hmm. And there's other distributors out there who are also some big players too, like Asmodee and Chessex, which is down in Austin.
Well, I mean, on top of that, with comics, you now have Lunar. Basically, right around the time of all the COVID lockdowns, basically Diamond turned around and said, we're shutting down. We're not going to be giving you any further information. And it forced a lot of companies to look around and realize, oh shit, this has been a problem. This is a problem for us now.
Yeah. Now, I mean, ideally, what would be awesome would be like, the Superman story would be, Rippaverse, Rippa comics to come out and start becoming a distributor for all that. But as far as I know, they're just set up to be a publisher, not necessarily a distributor.
Not true.
Do they do their own distribution?
Yes. In fact, they have a website they do called Rippa Sends, where several people within our circles have been using them for distribution. For example, Yellow Flash has his book, The Mighty Golden Eagle, is coming out through that. Jay, Drunk 3PO, had his children's book, Achromatic Chrome, or anyway, his book he distributed through them. Nerdrotic himself has a autobiography about his dealings with addiction, and that book is going to be going through Rippa Sends. So they're willing to take on some shipping jobs, but it hasn't been a lot of the regular monthly stuff. I think we're going to see a big shift there, and if any company is willing to turn around and work with them, that could be a game changer. And I think one of the best ones to turn to would be like Antarctic Press down there in Texas.
Yeah, they're over there in San Antonio, and they've always kind of been clinging to life. I mean, ever since I was a kid, and was reading Ninja High School, And I didn't read Gold Digger, but I knew about it. And they also had a few other things that would come out here and there, but they've been, hanging on tooth and nail with kind of a dedicated little audience. And yeah, I worry about little companies like that because they can't survive. It's like they kind of live hand to mouth from one project to the next. So,
well, I mean, we've seen the benefits of having everything made big and global, and everything was built to sort of that scale. And I think the sad reality is a lot of this stuff is just kind of niche, its own little small pocket of things that, can't necessarily stand up on its own. And it's unfortunate to say that maybe some things shouldn't.
Well, Faderhead actually brought up something about this the other day that was kind of similar. He was talking about how, he went to a club at one point. He says, and it's not, the club scene is not the same thing as whenever he first started out with his music, because he said it used to be you could go in and you could identify your group no matter who it was. If it was goths, they had a specific look, so you could gravitate towards them, or if it was metalheads, you knew who to look for, and you found your group. He says, but nowadays, you got kids in there wearing, Misfits shirts that they bought at Hot Topic, and they've never even heard the Misfits. I mean, I've seen kids more than once wearing, like Iron Maiden shirts, and I'm like, oh, you're an Iron Maiden fan? What's your favorite song? I've never heard them. I just thought the shirt was cool.
Well, this is the downside of the
big commercialism.
Exactly. The big commercialism of having a couple of big prominent companies that have just ruled everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to the point where a lot of these companies, for example, only really care about getting the brand out, getting like the merchandise out to sell, because it's easy to get someone to spend $20 for a T-shirt just because it looks cool than, not investing into a big old brand.
Mm-hmm. Shanatsky's right where he says everything just exists in niches now. They do. The subcultures have kind of gone back underground, and just the mainstream is this hodgepodge conglomeration of stuff that people thought was cool, or it was cool like back in the 80s. What?
But at the same time, though, there is kind of a good thing out of that, because it's allowing a lot of little niche stuff to rise up and find its audience. And yeah, you might not be getting everyone in the same town all together on the same page, but a little company like War Games Atlanta can get its little steady audience going out there. War Machines can be one of the top companies on like My Mini Factory, even though I've never seen anyone play the game.
Yeah. Sabo says, okay, I did wear a Dead Kennedy shirt before I knew any of their music. My apologies. I'm a fan now. Hey, I wore a Cthulhu for President shirt way back in the day before I actually owned a Call of Cthulhu box set, but I did get the box set later. So.
I mean, I've talked about this before, haven't I? That there's no subcultures anymore, and it's because the internet has given us like a complete cultural memory. So nothing ever really goes away, and everything bleeds into each other. There's no real need to identify yourself by tribe or look or any of that, and people don't get together as much anyway. So I'm not surprised that clubs are different and all of that. The upside is that nothing really goes, well, a few things go completely out of style. Like kids today are listening to music from the 70s and 80s, and you think, us in the 90s, we wouldn't have been caught dead listening to something from the 40s or 50s. Right? And that's
true.
That's the equivalent, which is scary and makes me feel very old. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm always I mean, I do a little bit of DJing on the side, but yeah, I'll pull out like an album, like an old Psychedelic Furs album or the Fix or someone else, and people are like, oh, this is so cool, I never heard this. I'm like, dude, this is like way back in the 80s. I heard this when I was growing up.
Yeah, I have a Even though people make fun of me for it, I'm a big Nickelback fan. I own just about every physical version of their albums they've released.
Okay, Nickelback was never cool, Hunter. That was
Well, it's okay. It's okay for you to be wrong, T-shirt.
no.
Boot him.
I'm sorry.
Hunter ruins everything from A to fucking Z. He's crude, he's rude, and cannot grasp.
You said it like they didn't have any good singles.
They didn't.
You don't have a Dark Horse album.
They did not have good singles. What they had was a couple of catchy singles that you might listen to every once in a while. It's Fat Chick Moped Syndrome.
Go listen to Hero and tell me that song does not slap.
They had one song
Hero.
that was about, a girl with her pants around her ankles or something, and everybody thought it was like goth bondage, so they thought that was good. Nah, come on now. I mean, do you know how they got their name? They all used to work in an ice cream place, and because of the way that the stuff was priced, they would always end up having to give a nickel back to the person ordering stuff. So
This is the least rock and roll name ever.
this is also true, Savo. Nickelback is a band it became cool to hate, and that made me support them just to be country. Okay, well.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
Nickelback is such an unrock and roll nickname compared to something like Slipknot. Oh, that's supposed to be such a cool name for a band.
It's the type of knot you use to tie a noose to kill people with.
Yeah.
That makes it worse.
No, it was supposed to be edgy, Hunter. It was supposed to be edgy.
Yeah, do you know what kind of music Slipknot plays?
It's like hard rock, heavy metal type vibes for the most part. I'll admit I don't listen to
No,
it's metalcore.
Like new metalcore. It's not. It's not like hard rock. It's like on the opposite side of metal from hard rock.
Well,
They're
anyway,
almost hardcore.
no. Well, their older stuff was better.
Though what's fun is you can actually, if you take Jolene from Dolly Parton, and I've seen this with AI, and it's the greatest thing ever using Dolly Parton's voice. You can actually sing Duality to the tune of Jolene.
No.
Oh, it's
I love
great.
Duality. Don't ruin it that way for me.
Hey, don't knock on Dolly Parton. I mean, Dolly Parton's pretty awesome. Jolene's a great song.
Oh, yeah. She's back on tour, and actually, for her age, she still looks great.
Well, I mean, her plastic surgeon has had a very great career. But
Sure.
But no, like I said, it fits way better than it should, which is hilarious. Speaking of music, I mean, Black Sabbath farewell tour is just ended a couple hours ago.
I'm sure that's going to be a lot like a lot of these MMA guys' retirement career too.
I don't know. Cross your fingers, hope it turns out, because most of these bands have not, many of them heydays gone, but it was like essentially they had a whole bunch of bands playing like 20-minute sets, but Mastodon, Tool, Pantera, Anthrax, Metallica, Guns N' Roses. I mean, it was kind of a who's who. Obviously, Black Sabbath and Ozzy's own band.
You said it, Shanatsky. I agree.
Metallica after the Black Album sucks, and the Black Album's questionable.
Yes.
That is a load.
That's absolutely 100%.
People just don't like the fact that they evolved from thrash into a more blues metal. About the only album that you can say is anything less than solid from Metallica
Daniel, you're literally the only person defending Metallica. You're literally the only person defending it.
Millions
in the world.
Millions and millions of people every time they play a show.
Those people are living a Metallica that doesn't exist anymore.
Nah.
And you know what I have to say to that?
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
Many guitarists embarrass themselves when they're sitting there ragging on load, and then they can't play a single song on there because it's too hard.
Speaking of albums or music, I was going down the road today and I saw like the most random mishmash of like one-hit wonders with Blues Traveler, Gin Blossoms, and the Snip Doctors. all playing the same night.
Oh my God! Does anybody actually remember the Spin Doctors? Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
actually taking my wife to see that because they're going to be playing at the fair.
You know
next
who I
month.
was thinking about the other day was the Reverend Horton Heat. I'm like, whatever happened
Wow.
to that guy? But,
I want to know, why would Blues Travelers be on a one-hit wonder list?
Because they needed 3 hit songs and they got 2 bands, so they had to pad it out.
Pad it out.
all right.
You know
Well,
what we need? A harmonica.
I've been promising Ironcaster something awesome, so I want to go ahead and give it to him. So this week, a new game dropped that I thought Ironcaster would probably go bananas for. Unfortunately, it dropped, and so far the reviews have been pretty negative. My own review also being pretty negative. But
Is this what I think it is?
it's called Mecha Break.
Mm-hmm.
It is a free to play game. It's a free to play game. It looks really good, and it plays really fun. I mean, essentially, it's an extraction shooter with mecha. And
It was a game I was actually talked about on my channel about a year ago when I was first hearing some rumors of it. But yes, this is one that's certainly been on my radar that I've been meaning to get around to trying for myself.
I has footage. You can get it. It's on Steam. You can download it for free. The only thing is, it has microtransactions, and the microtransactions are ridiculous. And I will show you an example of that. But first, let me show you something you can only see once in the game, because once you create an account, you can't go back and replay the intro or the intro mission or anything else. So I made sure to get as much of this as I could before it was unwatchable again. From my own personal playthrough. These are the mechs that you start the game with, that you can use.
Also worth pointing out, this game came out well before Mark Kern's Ember did. Like,
This
that
is
guy
the
has
part-
been.
Check
that
this
guy's
out.
been
This is
trying
what
to
I'm talking
sell
about.
Oh yes.
You can't see these animations and stuff. You can actually see what all the mechs look like and all their gear.
It's one of my favorite parts about Mecha. Just seeing all the shit moving around that just looks cool.
I knew that would get you because it got me. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh shit, I got to get this for Caster. For some reason, I'm stalling here. There it goes. This is actually my favorite one right here, the Welkin. Somebody really needs to make a good mecha TRPG. I've seen it tried and tried and tried, and I've never seen it successfully done.
Well, next year we do have the Gundam war game coming out. Gundam Assemble.
The problem is that when it comes to video games in particular, Gundam is synonymous with painfully mediocre.
Chinatsky, Mech Warrior is slow and plodding and not really a role-playing game. It's a tactical board game.
Mech Warrior is the RPG. BattleTech is the war game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mech Warrior is the RPG. Well, the problem with Mech Warrior is inevitably you end up having to climb into a mech and then you're playing BattleTech.
I will say this about Gundam, and this is one of those ones that, hell, half of you may not even remember this game or have ever heard of it. But the best idea that they ever had in a Gundam video game was Gundam Crossfire, and I really wish they had gone back and maybe dumped more money into better execution on it later, like in a second, Crossfire 2 or something. But that was the only time I ever played it, and I played a Gundam game that really felt like realistic giant robot.
This is a support class mech. I've never actually played this kind before.
Well, the big issue with Crossfire was it launched so early into the PS3's lifespan that it wound up slipping under the radar because it was at that period in which the PS3 was still like $5.99.
Grim would have an opinion on this, Savo.
Yes, Heavy Game Jogan Chronicles were great macro RPGs. I don't so much care for the new version.
If you do want to check out another Gundam game that might be comparable to Crossfire, you're probably looking at Battle Operations 2.
I have looked at Battle Operations.
I really enjoy that one for just kind of how slow moving the suits are, which feels right.
Exactly. That's part of what made Crossfire feel better. Feel more, more real. But I would say that it did have one major problem, and that is the fact that they didn't do a lot. They didn't put a lot into the way the missions worked and stuff. So you'd have there'd be like a burning cargo truck that slips across the back line, and you lose the whole mission. It's like you've wiped out their entire army except for this one, chow truck that's on fire and has 2 wheels left, but you lose. And then there was also some serious targeting issues at times where it's like sometimes it's like my beam rifle hits this Zaku and it's dead, and then the next time it's like I emptied my entire magazine on this Zaku and it's still here, and it's like floating over here to kick me with no arms.
Yeah, Snacks, I would agree. I had fun with Mecha Break. It is chaotic, it is fast. They do have some well-designed mechs. I do like the game. I really do. And it is free to play. The only problem I don't like is the monetary practices are very predatory in the game. And I'll show you what I'm talking about at the end of this set of clips with all the mechs. And no, I have not played every single mech yet. I've played almost all of them, but there's a couple I still haven't.
There's several front mission remasters out now. The tactical unit scale play, and I recommend those.
One other mech game I really enjoyed. It is on Steam. It's called Mass Builder. That one was like a little Kickstarter game, but it's by and large just a lot of collecting materials to get new parts so you can build more customized units.
Okay, here's the kick in the tail right here. This was available day one. It's probably still up on their on the site. But this is a brand new pilot that you can get with custom cosmetics, and she has a customized version of the Falcon mech. And just wait, they doll it up real nice, but I'll show you the price tag at the end of it. So yeah, you can customize your waifu for the game.
As you should.
Yeah, except that a lot of the options are paywalled. With 4 different types of currency.
Chinese, is it?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, this is a Chinese game.
Here we go. Watch this. This is how much this will cost you.
$50.
$47.
Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
Do you get the hand
$47
job before, or do they right when it happens, or do they make you wait till the charge clears on your debit card?
I don't know, but yeah, it's $47.99 for the custom stuff that you get here, which is like what you get 3 different accessories that you can put on your own character, on your own outfit. You get the custom character, Leonie Fevre, which I don't think that actually adds anything to the game. Oh yeah, she's got an exclusive boarding animation, an exclusive execution effect, and an exclusive MVP animation. And she does have her custom Falcon, which I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, what it can do, but yeah, day one purchase you can pay $47.99, and this is also in addition to paying $13 for a boost pack, which gets you more stuff faster, gets you more credits, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, for this, I better get some like Marvel Rivals style, like cheesecake.
This is your cheesecake. This is what you get.
As good as he gets.
It doesn't get any better than this. So my advice is download it, play it, don't spend any money on it. It's a good game, but chances are, because the reviews have been so negative because of its monetization practices, either A, they're going to be forced to knock them down in order to compete or eliminate them completely, or it will shut down within, a few months.
Well, the thing is, though, it's ultimately going to depend on how willing people are to hand over money. Because if all these people are bitching and moaning, but people are handing over money, no problem, then they have no reason to change.
I'll
I don't know.
stick with my MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries and my Hairbrain Schemes BattleTech. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, you just got to remember that all of those games exist off of an incredibly small base. Like it's really all there is to it. The old whales theory. It's like if you got a few whales, they really don't care what everybody else gripes about. They just need you to play the game enough to where the people who pay for all the stuff have people to beat on.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they have that, you can gripe and complain all you want to.
Well, I guess I wish them luck, but it's not something I'm going to pay for. I'm going to enjoy playing it while it's out there. And yeah, if it ends up becoming pay to win, which so far it hasn't been pay to win, but I don't know if you noticed while I was showing you all those mecha, there were 3 more at the bottom of the screen that I didn't show you. And that is because I don't have access to them. And the only way you can get them is you have to either unlock them somehow, which I haven't figured out how yet. I'm not that good at it. Or you could pay $12.99 for each one.
Yeah.
So
I thought MechWarrior Online was bad.
yeah. It's
And it is.
Yeah, it is. This is way superior to MechWarrior Online. I mean, and that's the sad thing, because the game is really good. I mean, the mechs handle very, very well. They have great dodging system. They have good lock-on mechanics and everything else. There is a lot of personality to every single mech that you play, but it's just not worth the kind of money that they want. Because it's like, you're going to end up buying like 4 or 5 games worth of game in order to keep up with this thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, when you have your quote free to play mech game, and I can literally go buy a copy of the latest Armored Core for what it costs to have, a chick pilot my robot, kind of have a problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's like, yeah, I could go buy Armored Core and have completely customizable mechs that I can build and break down and have a story to go play in. Now, it's true, I don't get to waifu my pilot very much, but or at all, I don't think. I don't think you even get to see the pilot in Armored Core Fires of Rubicon. But
Well, I mean, most gamers do waifu their pilot in Armored Core. Because since you don't actually see them, that just means it's you, and we all know about a gamer's relationship with their hand.
What? No. That's just rude. No.
I mean, is it wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I'm married, so hey,
Lucky you. All right. Well, that's some of our good news. I mean, I guess that was kind of mixed news, really, because I mean, it's like, yes, it's a good game, but no, don't pay anything for it. But but we did get some
really good news when it's like, hey, they made this game that looks like it's a lot of fun, but they're way too busy. They're way too busy building in that lube feature.
Yes, they are.
Yet.
So anyway, some more good news is Cyberpunk Edge Runners is coming to Blu-ray on October 28th with exclusive cover art by Yo Yoshinari from Trigger. And the pre-orders open in August. So that is really awesome. But what's more awesome than that is we found out that Edge Runners 2 is in production right now.
No, that I'm definitely down for.
Oh yeah, I'm super duper excited about it. And they dropped this today. We'll probably get copyright claim for this because I'm sure the music is going to be copyright claimed, but I don't care. I can always take it off later. But those of you guys who are tuning in live, you'll enjoy it. If I can find it, where did I put it? I did get this right. I had it earlier. Here it is.
Show folder.
I should Netflix. And yes, they did confirm David is dead. He did not survive. Some people kept saying, "Oh, well, David, he could have survived that," and I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that, but
sounds like people who never played the game.
Yeah. So there we go.
Sweet.
I'm super duper excited. I'm ready to cry again, and I mean ugly cry because I ugly cried the first time at Edge Runners.
I should really go back and watch that show at some point.
Yet you didn't see it all the way through, or you didn't see it?
No, it just sort of came on at a time in which I had a few other shows catch my interest, so I dropped it.
That's your usual excuse, Ironcaster.
Well, don't say I lied to you.
That's true. Grim, you saw it all the way through.
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
I'm incapable of human emotion, so I didn't ugly cry.
Mm.
But I thought it was good.
Did your wife watch it with you?
Yes, and we're looking forward to another one. I just hope they can keep up the quality, so we'll see.
Yeah, I hope they can keep up the quality. Did she ugly cry through it? I bet she did.
No.
No?
No.
Oh. Well, she had you sitting by there or so.
We are meat popsicles.
Fortunately, Studio Trigger's never really made bad shows.
Yeah, true. We also got a bit of news about this other thing coming here. I got so much footage in this folder. I'm just kind of like stuck for finding all of it. And definitely we're gonna have to run some of this on Tuesday because I ain't got room. I got time today, but check this out.
ずっと何も知ろうとしなかった。私は一人で生きていけるようになることだけを考えていました。
俺はきっと逃げ続けていた。
けど今は違う。
They better not copyright claim me for this.
早々のフリーレン第2期2026年1月放送開始。旅はこれからだよ。
How many of you guys watched this one?
I've only just started watching it.
What do you think of it so far?
I like it because it doesn't shy away from the implications of being a near immortal elf are. So that side of it I like quite a lot.
I want to hear what Savo thinks of it because I bet she's watched it. But yeah, it's just like after you see Frieren, it's kind of like you don't really look at elves the same way anymore as characters. I think it did.
Yeah, and you put a lot more mimics in your dungeons.
Yeah, that too. Anyone else on this panel actually watched it all the way through?
No, that show was poisoned for me long before I ever even thought about watching it. And to be honest, I have a thing about the goofy eyebrows.
Wait a minute, why?
They bug me. I have a thing about them.
I'm talking about the show.
Oh, the show? Like I said, it was kind of poisoned for me ahead of time by some other stuff. No need to go into that kind of stuff now, but certain people wouldn't ever shut up about it. And I was like, God, I just want this show to end and go away and die so I never have to hear about it ever again.
Well, it is really good, and it does kind of, it touches on a lot of fantasy tropes that haven't been touched on, and it's, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just really good. It's not fast moving, that's for sure. It's got a nice, slow, stately pace, but that kind of fits the story because it fits the character.
Yeah. But then, also the whole, what you just mentioned before about the implications of, being an immortal in a mortal world. It's like, that's a part of elves that we don't normally look at and that sort of thing. Except for Tolkien made that an overarching theme in a lot of his stuff dealing with elves. Like the entirety of elves in the Lord of the Rings is about them being tired of the world. And that's why they can no longer really operate in it, because they've essentially they've seen and done it all. So it's kind of not there for them anymore. World weary, as it was called.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I don't really see Frieren as being world weary, though. Her character isn't that. It's just she's someone who is kind of unchanging. And then it's like she kind of discovers how fast everything else is changing around her and how much people have moved on and how much things have progressed since she's actually been a part of the world. And it's just a good story. And Savo says, I have it and I love it. I really like the dual narratives, the actual and the one in Frieren's memory. And I do like that it is slow and not epileptic-inducing gore fest. Yeah. And there is gore in it. There is action. There's some really good scenes. I mean, the whole thing with Frieren and the demons was, I mean, that's top 10 anime moments, in my opinion.
The aura
There is
farming.
something.
What?
Oh, is it the aura farming that the show was able to kind of slip in?
Yeah. What were you saying, Grim?
As I say, it's something ironic in having a series called Journey's End Season 2. But like Final Fantasy 16. It wasn't very final then, was it?
I think when they called that Final Fantasy, what they meant is like it's going to be the be-all, end-all of fantasy games, which it kind of is because, I mean, every time a new Final Fantasy comes out, immediately everybody wants to compare it to everything else.
Nah, I reckon it's like my publishing folder is like, final version, final version, final version.
Well, don't feel bad. I mean, there's Skyrim, there's Skyrim Enhanced, there's Skyrim VR, there's Skyrim Enhanced VR, there's Skyrim you can play on your refrigerator, Skyrim you can play on your watch, Skyrim you can, I don't know, play on
Alexa.
Play on Alexa, yeah. I mean, so.
Which is a thing, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of the fun thing about Skyrim is essentially like, it's just in a lot of way, in that way, it's a lot like Final Fantasy. It's just as they were smart enough to realize they could make the same game without updating the graphics or trying to pretend like it's a new story over and over again. They're like, wait a minute, why are we going through all this? We'll just actually make the same game over and over again and just cut out the middleman. Think of how much we'll save on art assets when we just, literally release Final Fantasy VI Part 4.
What's that? What's that? We have to go over to collect the 4 crystals and to stop demons from taking over the world? Sure.
Yeah. let me guess. You guys are going to save the world. You're a ragtag bunch, right? And it's over that way, and there's going to be some vaguely mystical environmentalism deal that we deal with.
There are giant riding chickens.
Oh yeah, that's right. Don't forget the giant riding chickens
and Moogles.
I always thought Kate Sheets was pretty cool,
and there's always somebody named Sid.
Yeah, there's always a Sid.
Is it kind of like, is that where BioShock really is? Like BioShock really breaks the fourth wall. There's always an airship. There's always a Sid. There's always a riding chicken. That's it. That's what it is. BioShock is literally about Final Fantasy.
They have another BioShock they have another BioShock coming out too, from what I understand. What were you gonna say?
I was to say I did like the version of the Chocobos in the cutscenes from 12, where they was all dressed in like metal armor and they looked more like mowers or something. Some prehistoric terror bird. Yeah, that made me respect Chocobos more.
I did get another one that I thought Caster would like, or if he doesn't, then maybe I will.
Oh.
Yep. It's got a release date on this.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's a virtual desktop companion type thing. I could just see Grim playing this while he's busy trying to, write something new, taking a break and doing Nanomon. This really looks cute, though. I don't know. Am I being silly? Is this too silly?
It's silly, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you're using it for.
Well, obviously for entertainment, but
Like, I mean, yeah, it's
coming out on
kind of
GOG.
like little cutesy
Yeah.
stuff that is okay. I mean, shit, Pokemon made its entire universe off of that.
that's true. Actually, you know what? I haven't checked up on this. Let me see. Let me see. No.
Can we all think back about it's like we wonder why the world's as fucked up as it is when we have an entire generation that was, essentially raised on Michael Vick Simulator 4 and anime format?
Okay, so it is out. It's on Steam. It's got a virtual pet demo that you can get. It has a bundle that you can buy for $17.80, which has the soundtrack with it. And yeah, I mean, otherwise the base game is $13.49, so it's about the cost of a meal. That ain't bad. I may pick that up next paycheck just to see how it is, because it looks like it's fun. I mean, it's a time waster, but I mean, still.
I mean, they already had something like that. It was called Tamagotchi, and it didn't take away computer space.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's like a Tamagotchi, but it's like you can't like fight your friend with it otherwise. I don't know. Might be fun.
Tamagotchi was better until you gave it too much speed and it died.
Oh. All right, let me see. What else do I have? Grim, did you check out the Forever Winter video that I updated or that I did?
I did, and I have tried playing it, but it's a very confusing game without much hand holding. So
no, it is not. It does not hold your hand. It's rough.
Yes.
You should tell me when you're playing. Then I could you could like team up with me, and you could actually build a squad and get through it. Maybe.
Yeah, we can try that.
Yep. By the way, it's still got a free to play, demo of it, so that Ironcaster can actually play it and put Helldivers down because it's an inferior game.
I played a couple minutes of it. I tried it out. I didn't like the fact that headshotting zombies didn't kill them.
There's no zombies. You talking about the mechs or the cyborgs?
No, the zombie one you asked me to play.
Which one?
Like the winter?
No, Forever Winter. It's not the same one.
Yeah, that. I played the demo.
There's no zombies in it.
The robots are kind of zombie-like.
Yeah,
the first ones.
The cyborgs, yeah, we do tend to call them zombies because they act like it. But no, shoot, dude, the game's like super deep, and the lore is really good too. Although a lot of the lore is kind of inferred, which I like that it doesn't come out and tell you. But that's one I'm still pushing for, and it's actually starting to pick up some steam now, so I happy. So I just got to get more friends to play it so that we can actually, get some teams together.
Or you can Helldive.
I don't want to buy Helldivers. One, it's more expensive, and two, it's kind of like, no.
You're just being difficult.
Well, it's like, okay, I already have Forever Winter, and it's a similar type of thing because it's like an extraction shooter. I have Mecha Break, and it's also the same kind of thing. It's an extraction shooter. And then today, I got accepted to playtest the Midnight Walkers, which is a zombie-based extraction shooter. And I actually have the trailer for that. I think. Yeah, here it is. This is the cinematic trailer. I'll tell you about the game from what I've played of it. Because at the moment, I don't have a lot of really good things to say. But it looks cool. At least the cinema does. Because you know me, I'm getting invested in anything that's zombie related.
T-shirt. Why can't you just be a normal man and come play Gas Station Simulator?
No. Because I play Graveyard Simulator. Cinema's really good, I mean, but this isn't the game. It's Daniel in the mirror every morning, you know, thinking about his life choices.
How is that so? I don't know. His body fat percentage is a little too high.
Really?
Yeah.
You keeping it in shape?
No, hell no, dude. Are you kidding me? I did at one point in time.
My body fat percentage has never been as good as his. So.
How calorific.
Yeah, well, can I say I like tortillas?
I just like food.
Yeah.
More than anything is I have not been to the gym in several months, and I'm starting to show the results. And you know, I definitely look different than I did in my 20s when I was in there about 4 hours a day.
Oh yeah. It's funny how fast that gym look wears off of you too. Looks really good here, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's a bit like Killing Floor.
Oh, but
Yeah.
there's the old first person I'm going to drink a canned soda with my, you know, apparently 4 feet in front of my face thing. I don't know why they haven't been able to get that right yet.
They just got to show you what the can looks like. I don't know.
I mean, it's like it's in every one of these games. Like, we know what perspective is like.
Savo, you act like you don't like it.
He doesn't. He hates it. He finds it vexing, annoying, and all kinds of other synonyms for not good things.
She probably loved to smell that guy after he's been on a zombie killing spree.
I can't believe it's not Necromunda.
Okay, so like I said, I actually got accepted into the playtest, and I got to playtest it today. There are 4 characters, one of which is a Healy type, so I didn't play that one. But you got like a old guy with a bow and a spear who, you know, drops traps and stuff like that. You got a girl who basically plays like an assassin with the poison coated blades and a katana and all that. And then you got your Brick, which is the guy you saw in the trailer who, you know, beats things to death and has a hatchet and has a high amount of defense. The problem is the zombies are hella tough. Like, I shot a zombie in the head twice with a bow. And I'm just like, You know, I shot that zombie in the head with a bow at less than 20 feet. And anybody who knows anything about physics knows that when you have a bow at a certain distance, it actually is more dangerous than a bullet because it's throwing more mass at a higher velocity. And within 20 feet, yeah, a bow is a lot more dangerous than a bullet. But, yeah, it's taken me 2 arrow shots at close range to bring this thing down. The zombies have a bad habit of stun locking you because they grab you and then you're having to sit there and tap the F button frantically to get loose, and then another one will grab you and then lock you down, and by then you're dead. Even the guy with, the huge dude with all the muscles and the piece of girder strapped to the end of a stick, beating the crap out of a zombie by hitting him in the head, will not fell one in one hit. And I'm just kind of like, what the hell are these zombies made out of? Kryptonite?
Yeah, definitely run into the kind of zombie paradox there, where it's like they should be falling apart just from all the small non-healing injuries that they take running around not feeling stuff, but they're still fragile human things. And it's like, I clubbed it with a piece of steel
rebar
girder.
Yeah.
Physics says that it doesn't matter if it's alive or not. Its head is no longer in a form that is capable of locomotion.
Yeah.
Like it can't see, not because, I knocked its eyes loopy. It can't see because I smashed it into a paste, and paste can't see.
It still takes me 2 hits from that hammer to bring down a zombie. The girl, she can poison her knife because apparently venom or poison still works on these things. But they're definitely dead or infected or something. I don't know. I mean, they just call them zombies, and they look like they're dead. But yeah, it's like, even I'm sitting there applying poison to them and stuff like that, and it's not killing them faster than, I should be able to. I whip out the katana thinking, okay, well, this thing will make mincemeat out of them. No, 2 or 3 hits it takes to kill one. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And then, of course, they throw like a horde of them at you if you get unlucky and happen to stumble into a room full of them. It does have crafting mechanics, which are still in beta test. It has the Diablo problem, where you go looting stuff and then you find a whole bunch of crap. And, if you're playing like the brick, the stuff that should be coming out of the item bins and stuff like that should be stuff that's for your class. But that's not what happens. You end up with, like stuff from the hunter and everything else. And I'm just kind of like, what is this crap?
The best way to equip an Amazon is to roll a sorceress.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of ridiculousness. I'm just like, why am I wasting my time with this? And then your inventory space is already limited, so you're sitting there trying to screw around with getting it all lined up in your inventory box. It's just dumb. So they got a lot to do with this, but it is still in beta test, so maybe this is stuff they'll iron out before it gets released. But my first comment would be, it's like, dude, yeah, the zombies, you need to be able to take them down a lot faster. The animations for the attacks are really slow, too.
When I go Cactus Jack on them, they need to turn around and tell Maggie that they love her.
Exactly. So, but I have hopes for it. And it is basically, it's an extraction shooter, because it's like you're clearing out a building full of zombies and looting the entire time. And you only have, so much time before they lock down those floors and stuff, and you have to get to an escape pod or cross a floor to get to a lower floor, because for some reason they they decide, oh, we're going to clear the floor, so we're going to pump in all this poisonous gas into that floor. And I'm just kind of like, I guess it's like a game show type thing. I don't know. They haven't really explained the backstory very well, but it is what it is. Yeah. Hopefully it'll get better. But right now I'm kind of annoyed about it. I expected more. It looks so good. Come back, Grim. What happened? You have a hiccup?
Internet screw up. It's been a bit wonky all day, and it just finally crapped out.
No, it just finally crapped out. Okay. Oh my god, it's Brandon the anime guy. What, dude? What? What's the deal? You always make your zombies in Project Zomboid so that they have a hard time seeing and hearing. Smelling is really keen for them. Yeah, I usually set up my zombies in Project Zomboid to be Romero type zombies that can only walk and can't run, because that's dumb. Oh yeah. You didn't know that? I mentioned that on Tuesday. Of course I did. But Brandon, did you also know that we're getting Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2? You just saw it? The preview just dropped, huh? Uh-oh. Okay. Y'all talk for a minute. I gotta see if I can find this thing.
Uh-oh.
Seriously.
Copyright for sure this time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Daniel, do your thing. Talk, man.
What am I supposed to talk about?
What? You're not normally short of things to say.
Yeah, you're not normally short of things to say.
I got something I can talk
well, this is
about.
kind of like when you finally get into that beta test and it turns out the game kind of sucks after you didn't get into all the good ones.
Yeah. And hopefully they'll adjust it, but these days the beta tests are usually just marketing. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't really call them beta tests anymore anyway because they don't actually put out complete games. A beta test is the launch day, and then DLC is actually finishing your damn game. That's the way of things is just ridiculous when it comes to a lot of these video games. I hate that part of it. Though, reaching way back to the beginning of what we were talking about in the very beginning, I don't think we need to get too worked up about the publication thing, and it kind of plays into a lot of the way video games have started to work. You're just going to, and also the way music works, I think you're going to see a lot of the big distributors kind of fade away. You're going to have a few that deal with just the big guys, and then everything indie is going to stay in-house because now it's actually feasible to publish your own stuff, whereas before it was not. And that's probably where Diamond is seeing a lot of its death anyway, is because it's an aging model. Okay, guys. So this came off of the Warner Brothers anime site. So this means like there's a 99% chance that this video will get copyright claimed because Warner Brothers just, likes to claim everything. Even if you're saying something nice and happy and positive about their stuff, they still want to copyright claim you because I don't know. But yeah, this is the preview trailer apparently, and let's all watch it together because more than likely I'll have to scrub it off of this video like after tomorrow whenever they copyright claim.
.そして生きていく暴力が支配するんだ
ておく。北斗神拳は無敵だ。
Guys, I have goosebumps.
Okay, so is that just a retelling of the original anime, just in a new animation style now? Is that what we were just watching?
Yeah, it's a redo of the original manga in anime form. And man, it looks good. Although I could see the computer graphics in it, but still they preserved more of the manga in it than they have the old anime.
I mean, I'd watch it. It looked cool.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It does really look good.
I mean, I've only heard about Fist of the North Star. I've never watched it.
Well, read it. It's better if you read it.
It was one of the first really big animes in the post-Japanimation boom. That, Akira, yeah, those were big releases that everyone watched.
Yup.
Brandon
and it's
speaks.
also model for a lot of you'll see 1,000 other animes that you've seen in it because at least the anime itself got ripped off over and over and over again by literally everybody.
JoJo. Sorry. Almost every big martial arts, violence anime or manga that came out after 1982 had Fist of the North Star to credit for it. Video games and stuff too.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like being in any kind of cyberpunk style live action movie and basically having to look back and say, okay, well, where's Blade Runner in this?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could also say that for like all of the cyberpunk anime too, because let's face it, Ghost in the Shell, all that stuff is all just Blade Runner animated with some tweaks.
Hokuto Shinken, Muteki da. All right, man. Well, oh man. Okay, I think I need a cigarette now.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to step away for a few minutes.
You didn't see the trailer?
No.
Okay, fine. I'm showing it to you again because you missed it on purpose. You did, didn't you? You totally did.
You just wanted to watch it again.
Yes, I do want to watch it again. Fuck it. Let's do it again. Let's get copyright claim twice.
I forgot I had to By the way, Fist of the North Star, drink.
That's right. You're supposed to drink. It's the trailer so good we have to watch it twice. I mean, okay.
Watch it twice.
I mean, this is a scene straight out of the comic books right here. So is this. So is this.
You realize we're going to turn this into a drinking game every time you stop to say this is in the comic.
This is the infamous Hokuto thousand fist crack or thousand crack fist. I can't remember what it was called. My brain is just like I'm too giddy to think of it.
The technical term is a nerdgasm.
Yes, yeah. Is that what it is? Okay, yes. I'm having a nerdgasm live on air. Sorry, guys.
I mean, it looks interesting, but it's no MD Geist.
This is straight out of the comic books right here. This is straight out of the comic books. This is straight out of the comic books. This is straight out of the comic books. This is straight out of the comic books.
All right, Oprah. Comic books are under our feet. We got it.
お前はもう死んでいる。
Okay, T-shirt. How are you gonna feel when Young voices him?
Fuck him. Hokuto Shinken, Muteki da. Oh my god, that's so fucking good. Oh Jesus.
Yep. Fist of the North Star does have some really cool one-liners and stuff in it too.
Yeah. Savo, you appreciate things that go 110% and that goes 110%. Yes, Savo, you'll need to watch it. If you like abs on guys for days, that's the show you need to watch.
Yeah, they invented extra abs for that show.
They did.
It was like the birth of the anime character that is like anatomically incorrect. You worked out so hard that you just developed muscles that don't exist.
If there was if an extinction level event could get up and go fuck somebody, it would be Fist of the North Star. Ah, man, that was so good. That's so good. Jesus, I can't wait to see that. I'm gonna be like super duper like watching the website every fucking day now. Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Oh my gosh. I know they'll probably drop more trailers between now and then too, because it's supposed to come out next year. So hopefully it won't come out really late next year. But you can see that there's some CG in it. But it doesn't look too bad. So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. But anyway, shall we close the show? Because I mean, I don't think I can beat that as far as good things today. We'll have to wait till Tuesday and settle down a little bit.
You need some alone time with the trailer.
I do. I need some alone time with this trailer and maybe some lube. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, I really am pumped and excited about it. Brandon, thank you very much for letting me know about that, dude, because I didn't know it had dropped today. I knew that the new anime was coming, and we announced it on Tuesday, but I didn't know they were dropping a trailer today. And I guess today was trailer day because it's like I saw the Freerin trailer today, and Cyberpunk Edge Runners was trailered today, and now I'm gonna have to go and like start looking for all the trailers.
Guess they figure everyone's at home.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
we might have a whole bunch.
On our way out, I'd like to just briefly drop a link for Mr. 32 Flares and Equalizer, as here in about 40 minutes or so, we will be picking up with Cloudy's Comic Shop for this weekend. We decided with the 4th of July and all the firework hijinks that we wanted to push it for a Saturday. So, guys, come on by. We'll talk some comics. We'll nerd out. We'll have some fun. Let's keep this fun rolling.
Yeah, poor old Clobby. He would have loved it.
Well, we're gonna endure through a couple of really bad movies probably this week or this month. In his name.
Oh, what are you gonna go see?
Well, Superman and Fantastic Four.
Oh dear. I haven't heard about Fantastic Four, but people are already saying Superman is so.
Well, if anything, I want to see Superman do well, just because I think Marvel needs the competition. Marvel needs to do better, and so Superman, I feel, has to do better than Fantastic Four.
What? You mean you don't like Ironheart with its absolutely 100% criminally minded superhero?
That was a villain origin story.
It was. It was totally a villain origin story. And nobody can sit here and lie to me. Not to mention, they took every single racist stereotype, even down to Kool-Aid, and put it in that show. I want to get Animane, and I want to get Ego on the show and do nothing but a big Ironheart review and see what they had to say about it. Because I bet even they would be going, this shit is racist. So, I don't know. But anyway.
Hollywood has lost its ability to actually do Superman a long time ago.
You think so?
They're not capable of accurately using or of
effectively
using that character.
On top of all that, they are doing everything in their power to avoid the phrase "truth, justice, and the American way."
Yeah,
like they are. Like, it is paying them to say it. Like they've tried to change the phrase to "look up," and time and time again they'll say "truth, justice, and you know the rest." Because God forbid you say the American way. I'm sorry, no. This is Superman's catchphrase. This is what you think of when you see the Blue Boy Scout.
He's all American. It goes deeper than that. He is all American, and the problem is that they are all. The only person who can be all American in a Hollywood production is the bad guy, because you
Seems
are
to
the
be.
bad guy for being all American. So Superman just doesn't fit.
Well, my only deal with it is Superman has been deconstructed so many times by so many different authors in so many different ways. You know, we're talking like movies, comic books, everything,
And
that we no longer believe in a Superman because we don't think it's possible that somebody could be just a good guy because it's the morally correct thing to be.
this is why I outright rejected Invincible and The Boys, because I am sick to fucking death of the evil Superman trope. Like, go fuck yourself if you think I'm gonna sit through that.
Oh, well, I'll have to send you a copy of what is that film I've got over here? Hang on, let me look.
T-shirt, I know where you live.
Do.
Yeah. So to answer Fightful's question, Fightful, he landed in Kansas when he was a baby. That's how
He's
the
from
Kents
Kansas.
found him. Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, he's
from Kansas.
I mean, if we're going to call falling out of space into a rocket ship and landing on a Kansas farm being from Kansas, then yes, we could say he's from Kansas. But I was focusing on the technicality of it.
I mean, you know, technically he's an illegal alien, but
Yes,
I hate that
irregular
argument.
immigration.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I've got it over here on the shelf somewhere, Castor. I'll send you a copy of it. But yeah, I've got that film that was I think it was done by Abrams or somebody or Blumhouse, where basically it's like evil super kid. I can't remember the name of it.
That was quite good, actually.
You like that?
Yeah.
I thought it was a once watch and never again because it was kind of like
it was good enough for that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I got some movies coming in today. I should go check. So why don't we go ahead and end the show? And pick it up on Tuesday, shall we?
I guess
Okay.
So I can hate on more evil Supermen.
Yes. No, actually, I got some cheesy movies. I got like a Yakuza film and some really old Don the Dragon Wilson movie and Creepshow 3.
If we're going to talk about evil Superman, the Red Sun comic book series with Superman, where he was Russian, was not bad. I actually liked that one for a Otherworld Superman story.
Well, when I talk about deconstructing Superman, I'm talking about everything from like Miracle Man to who was he? The one that that Image Comics did. I forget the name of the guy, but he had like the white hair. Huh?
It was Irredeemable.
Yeah, there was so many. There's so many deconstructions of Superman. It's just kind of like, yeah, the whole idea of a Superman, I would find it difficult for them to make one.
I think this is an attempt at a reconstruction, with the super dog and everything. They're definitely going back to the old Superman for that. And there have been successful reconstructions as well.
But it's not the right dog. It's just James Gunn wanting people to put his dog in the movie.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, this is it. Brightburn, that's the one. Yeah, I've got that over here on the shelf somewhere for you, Ironcaster.
Because Crypto's a Labrador.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not a little lap dog. Like, if you've ever seen Crypto in the comics, he's not a little dog. He's like a pure white Dalmatian or something.
Yeah, it looks like a Dalmatian with no spots.
There's a whole like avenue of comic books that I generally try to avoid, and it contains things like Crypto, Batmite, Mixelplick, and the Astonishing Man. Because they're ridiculous. Well,
right, but then you get but those were a different type of parody. Like, otherwise you get the cynicism of there's no way he'd be a good guy. No, he has to be a villain who has to like be selfish and want to destroy things. So it's like the Superman formula is as simple as possible. He's just a man who's doing what he can because he thinks it's the right thing to do in a world that is screwy. In a world full of bad people, he wants to be a good man.
And then you have Batman, who is a man who thinks he's Batman. And the city is screwed up. No matter how screwed up it is, he won't kill people.
But no, that depends entirely on which Batman you're looking at. Because in the 80s, Batman killed a lot of people.
He
and
did.
in the 20s when he first came out, he used to swing into windows with a Tommy gun and lay into people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in the 80s?
But that was also because they were just tracing the Shadow comics.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I remember the Batman in the 80s. That he wasn't killing people in the 80s.
Frank Miller Batman sure as hell wasn't that late 80s Dark Knight era?
Yeah. The Dark Knight, yeah, but that was like a one-off. That wasn't like that's not canonical. That was
never intended to be canonical, like this is what he will end up as. It was just sort of like here's a little one-off story because it's Frank Miller in the 80s.
Yeah, that was Frank Miller deconstructing Batman and basically jerking off all over it.
Good old Frank Miller.
But an interesting comment to come back to.
Well, okay, Doss, I know you've seen it, right? What would you say about The Dark Knight Returns?
The comic or the animated one?
The comic.
It's probably one of the seminal comic books ever made. As far as graphic novels.
It is, but wouldn't you also say that it's basically Frank Miller deconstructing Batman?
Yeah. That was probably really the first of the real deconstruction movement that suddenly every superhero had to be deconstructed.
Mm-hmm. And it was like followed by Watchmen.
Yeah.
Kind of deconstructed everybody. Then we got into the whole deconstructionist movement, and now we wonder why our heroes all suck.
Because they never bothered to reconstruct them. It was we've been wallowing in that from the results of that era. Like as fun as those comics are, they are a curse upon the comic book. Comic books as a medium. That and the Watchmen. Yes, it's good, it's revered, but the problem is everything for the last 40 years has been trying to be those books.
That's why I liked Punisher until they deconstructed him too, because it was kind of like he just does one thing: he kills criminals. The way he does it is his modus operandi is the whole thing, and it wasn't until they decided we're going to kill off the Punisher, or at least and by deconstructing him and all this stuff in the latest comics that it ruined the character. Now I don't think they can get him back. they're going to try to put him back in the Marvel shows. I'm just kind of like, good luck with that.
Well, with the DC stable, right? Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, those values, you can't buy them anymore. You can't believe them so much anymore. The idea of a man who embodies America being a good person is not something that most people are going to swallow, given the state of the world. Batman's a bit easier because he's focused on revenge.
But the problem is,
same as the Punisher.
They don't want to try to put that out there.
Yeah.
Because the people who are working on the books, who are writing it, and they don't believe any of that. It's the wrong people handling these things. James Gunn was saying it took him years to finally figure out how Superman works. When you look at what James Gunn does, he is a cynic. He does not believe in a lot of that stuff. For him, it's all sort of hokey. Like he wanted to do, there was like a evil Superman thing he wanted to do as like one of the first things. When it's like you have some of the most important superheroes, period, but you want to work on all these little side projects first. Like, no, you do not get this.
Yeah.
That's why I have no hope for the Superman movie.
Same.
And why ultimately I feel more comfortable with now that I'm kind of getting outside of that ballpark, like there's a lot of really good comics out there, and none of them are superhero. Kind of superhero. Space Ghost is really good from Dynamite. I'm enjoying the Transformers stuff, especially, and now that we've got freaking Robert Kirkman taking over for that.
That's your drinking game there, Ironcaster. Every time you mention IDW.
No. IDW fucked it up.
Yeah, they did.
They?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. They're the ones that had a Transformer.
Oh, okay. So, but aren't they the guys who have the license to Transformers right now?
No,
And G.I. Joe? Oh, is it Dynamite?
No, Image.
Image. Okay.
Image. Dynamite comics were good for a while.
No, I know what it was. Dynamite was complaining that they might go out of business because of the whole Diamond thing.
Yeah. What about IDW? Will they go out too?
IDW's been teetering for a while. Like they were publicly traded for a minute, but then they sort of fucked it all up and they got rid of the board game stuff, which was doing pretty good. Like the biggest thing that's been holding them up is licensed properties, and even with that, they sort of lost a lot.
Man, it's like all the companies are kind of starting to fall apart. I mean, CMON is having to sell off all their stuff, and
let's see, well, of course, the only thing holding up IDW is the Turtles.
Yeah. Boy, they're shilling that as hard as they can, aren't they?
Okay, that the last Ronin, I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10, only because I don't like the very last page where they sort of imply that we're just gonna go ahead and recreate and make new Turtles after this whole story was like how we had to let this cycle end.
The guy I'd rather ask about that, and no offense to you, Caster, is Tom from Midnight's Edge.
No, nothing wrong there. He's Mr. Turtle.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Maybe I can pull him onto the show one of these days, and we can talk about it, huh?
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool if we could do comics on Tuesday. But
if you do that, let's make sure we line it up with a bunch of kind of Hollywood movie stuff, because that is his wheelhouse too.
Yeah. Well, we got some good stuff. Speaking of movies that I was excited for, but apparently is tanking, Megan 2.0. I liked the first one. I thought the second one was going to do even bigger, and apparently so did Blumhouse, except for the fact that they pivoted away from a horror movie to a action comedy, and they brought the R rating down to PG-13.
Ooh. I mean, they want to try and make her into some protagonist.
Icon. Yeah, they want to kind of make a franchise off of her, and they had a chance, but they screwed up.
It's that whole R rating thing. It's like, how can we turn this into something that's not R rated? Because, the difference between PG-13 and R is generally about 60% in terms of receipts.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. They turned her PG and then they lost their audience.
Yeah, I mean, they lost their audience. But what I'm saying is they try to pivot to try and make it a franchise. And it's like, to make it a franchise, you need it to be PG-13.
Well, that's the other part of it too. Then is I don't think they're going to be able to make a franchise, because I have my doubts if they're going to make a 3 after the second one. Although they left it wide open for a 3. But anyway, I don't know, man.
Like Peggy Hill getting Sugarfoots.
I'd like to see them succeed, but it's kind of like Evanescence. It's like Evanescence ended up becoming Amy Lee. So anyway, let's go ahead and close out, guys. We're over an hour and 30, and I need to go check my package. So
I got another show in 20 minutes. Let's go.
There you go. All right.
See ya.
We'll see you guys later, and catch us on Tuesday for Dungeons and Discussions. I have no idea what we'll be talking about yet, but I'll figure out something between now and then.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Later.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.